Hi, I'm Mariana Diaz. I'm head coach for Pellissippi State women's soccer, and this is the No Playbook podcast.
All right. Thanks so much for checking out the show. It's the podcast featuring the outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts, all from East Tennessee. Today I've got Mariana Diaz Lopez, head soccer coach at Pellissippi State Community College. She comes on to talk about just kind of the benefits of going JUCO and why that's more attractive now. So many rosters have been cut nationwide at colleges in their athletic departments. So really considering that option of going JUCO and then transferring out. So she kind of talks about what those benefits are of going JUCO, and specifically here in East Tennessee, why Pellissippi State would be a great option for so many young athletes. She talks about what it was like being a part of a brand new program, because she's been with Pellissippi since they opened their athletic department. The great interview. I'm a big fan of hers, so enjoy that. This episode is sponsored by Stinnett Collision with locations in Maryville and Sevier County. I'll get to Mariana right after this. Sit tight.
Hi, I'm Zach Stinnett, third-generation owner of Stinnett Collision. As a proud supporter of Tennessee athletics, we know that every game counts. When a collision puts you out of play, we're here to get you back in the game. Family-owned since 1965, Stinnett Collision now has locations in Maryville and Sevierville. With double the space and a team of certified technicians, we'll tackle your repairs and get you back on the road in no time. Don't let a collision sideline you. Visit Stinnett Collision today.
That's the clear board before the magic happens, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we got to keep those like set piece plays under wraps.
Yeah, especially right now that set pieces are such a big part of the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me again. First of all, the thing I love hearing from you about is what it was like being a part of a brand new program, like from its inception.
Yeah, I think for me, the way to describe it is that it's been a rare opportunity, right? For me, I started my coaching career here with the program, and also not only starting women's soccer at Pellissippi, but also integrating intercollegiate athletics here to the institution. Within all that's it's had its challenges, but it's also been super rewarding. For these 2 years, I've had two groups of young women come in and buy in to a vision, right? And really buy into an idea that had zero assets, right? We didn't have at the beginning, especially from year ones, there's no established, history before that they could say, okay, like this is an opportunity for me, right? So I think, the beauty of starting something like this from the ground up, and is that they've left something here for this community to be proud of, and to now look and say, hey, at Pellissippi now there's an opportunity, right? And I think that's what's been super rewarding, and of course with the support of our president, Dr. Wise, and our athletic director Brock Evans, it's been a fun way to attack some of these challenges, and give a new light to what junior college can do for student athletes.
Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of folks about just kind of why the JUCO route is more attractive now to young athletes. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and I think, even when I talk about the challenges, for us, I think in Tennessee, you kind of see, at least for the women's soccer side, that's kind of been the biggest challenge, is like you're shaping and reshaping this idea of what the value of junior college can be for student athletes, right? Across the country, you see a lot of athletes, not even for soccer, but for any other sport, using it as a launching pad of saying, hey, like I'm going to come in, I'm going to impact. And the beauty of junior college, it could be one season. You could have, a heck of a season and light up new opportunities, right? And so, I think that's the value that it gives you. And here in Tennessee, right, you're a part of the TCCA, which has a lot of success, throughout different institutions that have long history, and with Tennessee Promise, you have the opportunity of not only going to school academically, but also now athletically. You have an opportunity to be a top level athlete, come in, impact, and whether that allows you to gain more experience, but also allow you to have a bit more of cost efficient education for the maybe 1 semester, 2 semesters, or even the 2 years, and then progress moving forward. I think that you're starting to see like, oh, this is a genuine opportunity that will bring value, and you see it even at Pellissippi in 2 years, we've opened up a lot of programs, and I think every coach here in every leader of these programs have won and have developed players, and a lot of players from Pellissippi State are now transferring, moving on to not only to the next level, but even at the NCAA Division I, Division II, Division III, and NIA, right? So I think you're starting to see like the value of junior college in this area, and it's exciting to be a part of only 2 years here at Pellissippi and having that success.
Yeah. And there's a entirely different demographic of athlete too that I hadn't even thought about before. Because we also often think about like, what is that trajectory? Do I go JUCO and then I can transfer or whatever? But also there are folks kind of like you were talking about is skirting the college debt, by going JUCO
Right.
early on. Also, there's just kids that like, I just love the sport, and they're like, I'm just
Right.
not ready to give it up yet. I can go play for a couple more seasons.
Correct.
And, that's a population of kids too.
No, 100%. And I think that's where, junior college allows you to check different boxes in terms of what type of kid you're looking at in the recruitment process, right? And I think that the big piece is that it's okay to maybe not know what you're wanting to do, and that's why junior college exists, right? And every path looks completely different for everybody, right? And so I think valuing that I can still get to the Division I level, Division II, whatever that end goal is, you can still get there. There's just different ways now that you can navigate, especially if you don't have to necessarily conform to like an offer that maybe you're not necessarily super pleased with, right? Like there are more options. There's some people just want to close their chapter after 2 years. Doesn't mean that they're less or more of a player than anybody else. It's just like you're saying, I kind of want to continue playing. Let me give it my all. Still at the junior college level, it's still the same collegiate experience at a high level, and it's okay to close the book a little earlier. Now, if you want to continue moving forward, I think you gain invaluable experiences at the junior college level to prepare you to excel at the 4-year schools, right?
Yeah. Now, do you know off the top of your head what are all the sports that Pellissippi State offers?
Yeah, we offer men's and women's basketball, women's volleyball, softball, baseball, men's and women's cross country and half marathon, men's golf, men's soccer, and obviously women's soccer.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
And
10 sports that Brock Evans has been having to navigate over the last 2 years. It was one flow, and now you had the second flow. So even within the 2 years, these sports have impacted the conference and said, hey, we're here. It hasn't taken us 5 years to build that success. I think you're starting to see glimpses of what it can be, and what better place to do it at than Knoxville, Tennessee, right?
yeah, a completely different sport. I've met a buddy over there many times to play pickleball.
Yeah, I know. It might be the next new sport here as well. There's an insane amount of facilities for that for people to come and obviously use. The community uses it a lot. It's pickleballville over here at times.
So I'd love to hear about your approach to recruiting.
Yeah. For us, it's we've wanted to hit the ground running from year 1 to year 2, and I think you've seen that in the success that we've had in the last 2 seasons. But it's looking for those players that see this as an opportunity, right? For us, it's can we get the top level players from all over Tennessee, right? Whether that's going to tournaments, to local tournaments, to out of state tournaments, and connecting with them via email, via field level, whatever platform that may be. Letting them know that, hey, this is an opportunity. We are here to help you go to where you want to go. Like, this is not your end all stop. We want to make it a path within your journey, right? And so I think the players that see this as an opportunity of, man, I'm going to get better. I'm going to come in and amplify my experience and get to where I want to be. Those are the players that we want to keep here and continue to develop. And then, adding in the out of state young ladies, and then, reaching out internationally, bringing in some international players that see, international players that see the opportunity in junior college. And, I think having that right mix has been kind of key in what we've been building, and obviously, in what we're going to continue to do. So for us, it's how can we reach out to the top level players here in Knoxville or within the area of Tennessee?
How do you find those international or out of state players that like, to even figure out we might potentially be on their list?
Yeah, so I mean, it's the internet's an amazing, an amazing tool, and obviously connections and building relationships, right? I think recruiting is all about building connections and relationships, not only with players, but also um, whether that's little agencies that have connections with international players and they're looking to make the transition to come and play collegiate soccer, right? You start talking to different people and for at least for me and for Pellissippi State, we, when I played at Lincoln Memorial, I connected with a couple of players and they've started their own companies. And so now they're doing a little bit of international kind of connecting players. So one of my buddies, Chris, he's from the Netherlands, plus 31, and they kind of connect players to colleges. And so that's kind of been a connection that I've built over the years. And so that the internet, YouTube's a great tool as well. Film is a big piece, right? How you put together your highlight video and then catch the coach's eye, and then obviously continue to progress conversation and obviously hopefully spark interest in what we offer.
So now, so that question was more about your approach. How would you recommend young athletes approaching their recruiting? Do you have any like tips for young players?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think the big piece, is being hungry for information, and then obviously doing the little things and reaching out to coaches, making sure not only do you want, players to reach out and tell you when you're playing or when they're playing and where you're going to be at, but can we get film? Can we get, a good highlight video that allows us to see glimpses of not you don't always just want to see goals, right? Or like the match changing actions, right? You want to see kind of a little bit more of the intangibles, the tracking runs, like adding a little bit of that, the defensive sparks of a hard tackle, like making sure your highlight video, you know, combines different sides of your game is a big piece. And again, reaching out to the coaching staff and being interested in learning more about the program and having hunger for information is a big piece in it all, right? Like it's not just going to camps and ID clinics, right? A lot of it also comes from bugging a little bit the assistant coaches and the head coaches and letting them know that you're interested, right?
Yeah. Now, how about social media? Do you monitor accounts?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of see it now. Like, there's a wave of players having separate accounts of obviously like their soccer account, and that's a big piece, right? Twitter's becoming a big asset, especially when there's that transfer window. Especially even at the NCAA, you kind of see Twitter go crazy of within like, oh, I'm transferring out. Like you kind of get to see a bit quicker who's in that pool of players that you can reach out to, and a big piece of it all is you see them at at an ID clinic or ID camp or a tournament, and then you're able to look back and go to social media and kind of see a little bit more in depth of it. So it kind of allows you to know more about the player before you even start conversation. So it's just being able to kind of tap into the little details within your recruiting process, not just emailing out, but having a platform where a coach can come in and see kind of the other aspects of your game or who you are is important.
Yeah. Now, what about this upcoming season? How does the team look?
Yeah, we're excited. A piece of the junior college is that we, every 2 years you're transferring players out, right? So we're going on to year 3 for us. So we're welcoming in a big class. For us, it's about, bringing in the local players and then adding a mix of the international group. I think we've done a very good job of that, and it's a very exciting group. I think it's going to check a lot of boxes off for us, and at least for us, it's not just excitement within the roster, but also adding the tangible aspects, right? Integrating facilities and adding more elements to our program that's going to make this institution more attractive. So year 3 for us is big. Can we continue that trajectory? Can we continue to show that what we're building is real here in Pellissippi, right? Like the brand that we're putting together, the identity that we have, that it continues to flourish, and I think that's what we're so excited, and of course continue to transfer players out. I think we've done a very good job of doing that as well. So it's puzzling all the pieces together, and I think year three for us is a big connecting point.
Now, when you transfer players out, do you, I would imagine, use that as a recruiting tool?
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, we talked about it being a launching pad for us, for this community is um, come in, impact, develop, gain experience, and can we get you to that next level in getting you to the aspirations that you're looking for, right? And so year one we were able to do that with a player like Sade, an All-American that you kind of had on here before as well. But then even this next year, adding 7 players to that next level, right, has been massive for us. With Erica, Lauren, Bella, Kelly, a couple of them, just to name a few, but they've all gone to Division twos, NIA programs that are very successful. So that's a big piece in showing that we can do that. But I always tell the players as well, it's not just us having the connections of moving you forward, right? Because there's great institutions all around Knoxville, right, at all levels. It's about what are you willing to do to get there, right? At the end of the day, you have to put in the work, you have to continue to develop. And if you trust yourself and you trust the environment that we're putting you in to get there, I think that's where it comes together, right? I think it's silly for a coach to promise the next level if you don't have the work ethic to do it, right? And so I think that there has to be a combination of both. And I think that's where a lot of the players that are moving forward, Sade kind of started that, but now having Erica, Lawrence, and those players move forward is a testament to, hey, we've bought into the 2 years and we're now having opportunities to move forward.
It's great. That's such a good success story for Pellissippi. Now, what about you specifically? Is there anything like that you would say very few people know about you?
That's tough because I feel like not Knoxville's home for me, and I feel Knoxville knows me, and I know Knoxville um, just as much. So um, for me, it's just I'm really blessed, very blessed to be here and to have this opportunity, and I'm really excited to continue to show this community in this area that what we're building is rare and real, and I think that I have a very good support system in the organizations that I'm a part of, and I like I said, the success doesn't come without having those people and the right people believe in what we're building, and so for me, it's just that I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to be a part of this community.
Yeah. Now, remind me where you went to high school?
So I went to Halls High School. I was born in Mexico, and then obviously went to Halls High School, and then had the opportunity to make my way to Lincoln Memorial University.
Yeah, yeah. So, a question that I'm sure you've heard, everyone gets it on the show. I'd love to hear an unforgettable sports memory for you, either as a coach or an athlete.
Or as a fan, right?
Right, yeah, yeah.
And I mean, for me, as a player, I've had a couple, winning, captaining a team, and that's been awesome. But what's kind of changed my perspective on everything, and where I feel really blessed and fulfilled in what I'm doing has been coaching those game winning moments. First year we won a couple of last second winners, and kind of those historical, or like that will always be kind of in the record books, those types of wins, just to not even the win, for me, like the feeling that I got seeing the players so happy and just it really fulfill and enjoy themselves, and kind of those moments, that for me that was a big clicking moment in year one, and like, okay, this is what I want to do moving forward, and how can I make the best of it. So I think that those two, I could point out specifically those two moments for me, have been like, I want to continue to be a part of these moments for these young women, and continue to chase the process that it takes to get to these moments. So I would say those two big wins for us in year one have been remarkable.
Yeah. Is there a coach that you've kind of like modeled your style after?
Recently for me, I mean, and it's, now that Emma Hayes is in the United States, it's, she's become a bigger kind of, a bigger, point. But even Carlo Ancelotti, I'm a big like player relationship type of coach, right? I love having a relationship with my players. I think that that's integral in them understanding, what you're asking and what you're demanding from them, and understanding that they're even at the college level, right? And even for women's soccer, at times it's beyond football, right? It's genuinely the experience is genuinely the human, and I think even seeing kind of the new stuff from Emma Hayes and how she prioritized just women without the sport, within how she's coaching has been a big like eye opening for me, and how can I evolve my game and my style of coaching and my approach to how I go on a into preseason. How do I value rest and things like this? I think for me I would have to probably say Emma Hayes, especially now with the change of how we do things, modeling it and really prioritizing women soccer instead of just soccer, right? And so I would say Emma Hayes.
Sounds a little bit like a Ted Lasso approach.
Yeah, right. Ted Lasso. What is the famous quote? Something about have a goldfish
Be a
mentality.
goldfish.
Yeah, be a goldfish. I used that my first year, and I didn't even know Ted Lasso was a thing at the time. But yeah,
Well, that's great. I'm going to have this out Monday.
perfect. I'm excited. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
You got it. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
You too.
See ya.